The city of David and its ruins still remain intact today. Ongoing investigations continue after decades, which reveal startling artifacts showing the validity of the scriptural accounts. This is the Old City of Jerusalem, which is a centerpiece of the Old Testament, not to be confused with the tourist destination of modern Jerusalem and Temple Mount. One of the largest archaeological digs in the world is found right here, and it continues to produce artifacts that astound its discoverers. In 1982, over 50 seals were found in a chamber that include names of scribes found in the Old Testament, all in ancient Hebrew. As an example, Gemaryahu, son of Shaphan, left behind seals in his name found in this very chamber. It is easy for one to imagine that this chamber, containing seals from this royal scribe, was the chamber of the royal scribe itself, where the prophecy of Jeremiah was read. If that isn't remarkable on its own, just a few years ago, more seals were found dating back approximately 2,700 years with the names of King Hezekiah and the prophet Isaiah. There is so much more evidence from this dig, but I wanted to keep this presentation from going on too long, so I encourage you to research these findings more. Another example of the scriptures coming alive with nature is the rock at Horeb. In the scriptural account of the Israelites leaving Egypt, there is a time and point where they ran out of water and were crying out for thirst. God tells Moses to strike a certain rock, and struck it with the same rod he used to part the Red Sea, and water burst forth to satiate the thirsty souls. What is incredible is exactly where the account was said to take place. We see a huge rock with a split right down the middle, as if lightning struck it and parted it. What's fascinating is evidence of an enormous amount of gushing water flowing from this rock, demonstrated by water erosion from the base of the large rock, proving the story to be true. This rock is found along the route used by the multitude from the Red Sea to Mount Sinai.
One of the greatest miracles of the Exodus story is when Moses finds that the Israelites need water. They're in a hot, barren area without water to be seen anywhere. And so one of the greatest miracles happens when Moses strikes a rock, and the rock splits and water pours forth. For so many people, this sounds just like legend, but right near the alleged site of Mount Sinai, we come across this massive split rock. And one of the most distinguishing features of this is, as you can see below it and then also to the side, is that the rock is smooth, as if tons and tons of water came straight from that rock down and then filled the area. As we were driving here, the rocks were all jagged, square shaped, circle shaped. It was terrible for the car. But then right here, and only right here below the rock, the area is smooth. And so when you're coming around that corner, you have no idea what you're about to see, and then this is right there, surprising you, looking at you as you come around that corner. And this is one of the most pieces of evidence that the Exodus did in fact happen in Saudi Arabia, right here.
King Herod's massive hill palace, also known as the Herodium, and his other desert fortresses such as Caesarea are still in place. The size and structure of these ancient sites are mind-blowing. The Herodium alone is a small mountain made by hand. Mounds and mounds of earth moved to create this unique palace and fortress, providing him a place to have his luxuries and protection all in one. This king played a heavy role in the four synoptic gospel accounts. Although a mastermind and genius, his infamy preceded him. His reputation in Rome is best represented by this quote from Caesar Augustus: "It is better to be Herod's pig than his own son." That being, he was a practicing Jew, and he didn't eat pork. Therefore, his pig would have a better chance at surviving him. Herod was ruthless and paranoid, killing even his wife and sons. This was the backdrop to the story in the Gospel of Matthew. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him." When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go, and search diligently for the young child, and when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also." And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. We can see that whenever new evidence comes forth, the ancient texts in the scriptures come to life and validates these stories to be accurate in their accounts, as well as corroborates the characters of these well-known ancient figures. Almost every human being on this earth has heard the name Jesus Christ, who many have recently come to know by his true Hebrew name of Yahushua. But more on this for another time. According to the scriptures, he is the Son of God, the Word, who came down to earth, preached righteousness, was crucified, and rose from the grave to save us from sin. The detail of his life was preserved by 4 different accounts, each having its own unique view and report, yet telling the same overall story. These are the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The average skeptic may say that the Gospels could have easily been created to fool the masses, yet having 4 unique witnesses giving different angles to the same overall stories should be solid proof. Even with this being said, it was my goal to search and locate any other historical writings that proved his life was real. Lo and behold, something like this actually exists. Why didn't I know this before? Why isn't this taught in every textbook around the country? A secular historian, meaning non-religious, by the name of Flavius Josephus wrote about Messiah. The 1st century Jewish historian Flavius Josephus, who according to Ehrman, is far and away our best source of information about 1st century Palestine, twice mentions Jesus in Jewish antiquities. Josephus also recounts an execution of James, who is the brother of Messiah and is properly identified by him as such, further strengthens our case. Would it be reasonable to think that this secular historian would make up the account of Messiah for no reason?